Welcome back guys. The popular open world gacha game Wuthering Waves is now available on Steam Store along with its latest update version 2.3 anniversary edition update that brings a ton of free rewards, new playable characters, powerful weapons, exciting events and important system updates. This update debuts two brand new 5-star resonators. Zani is the star of Phase 1's featured banner Between Light and Shadow, while Chikona will headline Phase 2's Through Verses and Rhythms. Currently this game is not compatible with SteamOS, but in the future you may be able to play the game on Steam Deck. The developers have confirmed that they are working to resolve Wuthering Waves compatibility with Steam Deck is due to the game's anti-cheat implementation. In this video I'll be testing the game on my Steam Deck and Rog Ally running on Windows 11. I'll kick things off with Rog Ally. The game supports both DirectX 11 and 12 APIs. On Ally, game runs using DirectX 11 API out of the box. I'll show you how to get it working using DirectX 12 API. Just open the game's install directory, select the game in your Steam library, right click manage, click on browse local files. Open client folder, open binaries folder, open Win64 folder. Select this exe file, client-win64-shipping, right click, click on show more options, click on send to, select this option desktop, create shortcut, and just go to the desktop, look for the game's shortcut file, there it is, client win64 shipping.exe shortcut, right click, click on properties. We just need to add a launch argument at the end of this directory. Click at the end of the directory, hit space, type dash DX12. Text is very small here. I'll provide this text in the description of the video. It's just dash DX12. Click on apply. OK. Now just launch the game using this shortcut file. Game will run using DirectX 12 API. Before that I'll show you the game's adrenaline settings. I'm using Rog Ally's latest official GPU driver that supports AFMF version 2.1, current version of adrenaline. It's highly recommended to use AFMF 2.1 in this game. AMD's driver level implementation of frame generation, no risk of getting banned. First I'll run the game without it, setting disabled for the time being, VSync on, VSync off. Game's FPS is capped at 60. Just apply 60 FPS cap using gradient chill, helps in improving frame pacing. Idle FPS and peak FPS values set to 60. Launch the game. Using a 27 watts manual profile, all three power values set at 27 watts, 900p resolution. I have set the UMA buffer size to 5 GB. CPU boost disabled. Ally is running on BIOS version 341. Connected my 8-bit to Ultimate 2C controller to Ally via 2.4 GHz wireless mode. Using Adrenaline's overlay to show you the performance metrics. Here you can see the graphics API here, DirectX 12. So the launch command worked. First I'll show you the in-game settings. Hide the overlay. It's blocking the settings. Screen mode set to windowed mode, borderless windowed mode, 900p resolution. I'll set the graphics preset to performance. Frame rate, can't select a value higher than 60. VSync off. Special effects quality set to medium, FSR on, shadow quality set to medium. These are the settings that come with the performance preset. These effects are disabled. Motion blur off, anti-aliasing is on, bloom disabled, post-processing effect. I'll stick with these settings. We should not be hitting the GPU bottleneck on Ally. Before jumping into the gameplay, just wanted to show you the ongoing events. I'll quickly go through them. Gifts of Thawing Frost, Tidal Festivities, Gifts of Grand Celebration, Limited Time Special Login Event, Cube, Cubic and QB Combat Event, QBW, Gilded Night Market, yeah, this game is packed full of content. Gifts of Grand Gifts of Grand Reunion, Wuthering Waves, need to be at Union level 30. Ablaze in the Dark Companion Story, Ascendant Aces, Jump into the gameplay. Yeah, there's a character rover. I'll just enable internal lens overlay. I'm using the SEA based servers from India, getting a ping of around 100 milliseconds. See, thunder and lighting. Okay, first I'll traverse the area on foot. You can see FPS is close to 50. Yeah, we are not hitting the GPU bottleneck, so the game's performance is limited by the single core CPU performance. Okay, combat is going on. These echoes are fighting among themselves. I'll attack them. Spam my moves. 40 FPS, this is very disappointing. So instead of using the performance preset, I'll just increase the settings. GPU resources are not getting utilized fully. Okay, graphics quality set to quality, frame rate 60, VSync off, special effects high, FSR on, shadow quality drop to medium, LOD bias high, capture layer volumetric fog, volumetric lighting enable, motion blur off, anti-aliasing on, bloom off, curve density high, these effects set to on, enabled. That's it. Resume the game. Yeah, FPS is close to 40. Okay, we are still not hitting the GPU bottleneck. What's going on here? I'll engage in combat again. Thunder and lighting. Yeah, FPS dropped to around 35. Not the ideal performance, but game is playable on Ally. Switch my characters. Just perform all of the flashy moves. Yeah, FPS always stays above 30. Forget about getting a smooth 60 FPS. Use all of my characters. Okay, so now I'll enable AFMF 34 to 45 FPS. Pause the game. Open adrenaline settings. Enable AFMF from here. Check its status should be active. Green tick is there. Search mode set to high. This prevents frame generation smoothing effect from getting disabled during fast visual motion. Performance mode set to quality. VSync off. 60 FPS cap applied. In the indoor areas, FPS does exceed 60 on Ally. This is the open world, that's why the game is very demanding. Yeah, AFMF is working properly. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. FPS increased to around 90. FPS is variable because the base FPS is variable. AFMF FPS. Latency is not a problem. You can see the frame generation lag value. It's below 20 milliseconds. Oh my god, these things so aggressive. Okay, now I'll be flying around Rinascita. You will observe some graphical artifacts around rover's character model with AFMF on. It's due to the low base FPS. Okay, FPS is within a range of 70 to 80 while flying around Rinascita. Not bad. I'm gaining some height. Look at the scale of this map. Yeah, I'm observing some ghosting when I move the camera in complete circles like this. See? Not very aggressive. Shouldn't be able to observe this ghosting when you move the camera at a normal speed, but when you move the camera in complete circles, yeah, ghosting becomes noticeable. It's expected as the base FPS is below 40 most of the time in the open world. Jumped into combat again, just like that. GP load 70% only. Can't do much about this. want to use my special ability, trying to fill the meter up as quickly as possible. Almost there. Here you go. Okay, now I'll test the game on Steam Deck. I have the LCD variant of Steam Deck. It's running on Windows 11. I have set the UMA buffer size to 4 GB. I have installed DX Windows APU driver that was released on 15th August 2024. Even on Steam Deck, I'll be running the DirectX 12 version of the game. Just select the game in your Steam library, right click, manage, click on browse local files, open client folder, open binaries folder, open bin64 folder, select this exe file, client-bin64-shipping, right click, click on show more options, click on send to, select this option, desktop create shortcut, go to the desktop. Here you'll find the shortcut file for the game. Select it, right click, click on properties. Just need to add a launch argument at the end of this target directory. Click at the end, hit spacebar key, type dash DX12, click on apply, OK. Always launch the game using this shortcut file. Game will be running in DirectX 12 mode. Show the adrenaline settings for the game. Click on applications, Wuthering Waves, anti-lag and VSync setting enabled. Connected my Cosmic by Stellaris Gamepad to deck via Bluetooth mode, X input controller. RTSS and Steam Deck tools are running in the background. Applying a 30 FPS cap is recommended on Steam Deck. Steam Deck tools overlay, FPS limit set to 30, resolution 800p. In-game settings, everything set to low. Display mode full screen, 800p resolution, frame rate 30, VSync off. Effects set to low, FSR on. Capsule layout, volumetric fog, volumetric lighting and motion blur disabled, anti-aliasing enabled, bloom disabled, crowd density set to low, rest of the effects disabled. I straight away jumped into the Rinascita. There's rover. I'll traverse the open world on foot. Thunder and lighting. Yeah, we are getting 30 FPS here. That's really good to see. GPU load is close to 70%. It's a settlement. It's a shame that this game is still not compatible with SteamOS even after so many updates. But developers are working on improving the compatibility. Game may be playable on Steam Deck in the future with SteamOS. Okay, now I'll fly around Rinascita. Look at the change in lighting. Few hitches here. Yeah, 28 FPS. You can see the spikes on the frame pacing graph. Perfect area for flying. There you go. Gaining some height. Yeah, you will observe a few hitches while flying. 25 to 30 FPS. I'll just land here. Engage in combat. CPU side limitations. Observing some texture popping issue as expected. Using the low settings after all. Spam my abilities. Game is playable on Steam Deck, running on Windows. 25 to 30 FPS. CPU side limitations. Even on Rog Ally the performance was disappointing. FPS was all over the place, but it always stayed above 30, like 30 to 40 in Rinascita. GPU load stayed around 70%. Yes, performance was purely limited by the CPU side performance. Yes, beg your pardon. We are seeing something similar even on Steam Deck. See, GPU load 50 to 60%. Where are the GPU resources going? Just changing my characters. FPS mostly stays close to 30. Just want to use my character special ability, filling the meter. There you go. That's it with the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.